So now we have our last of the mini-max action for today, and the grid is as follows. Tim Gerhards lines up on pole position ahead of fellow countryman from the Netherlands, Enzo Bol. Jaden Thien, also from the Netherlands, is in the 107 in third position. Alongside will be the number 151 countryman and compatriot Jens van der Eyden. Jasper Leenerts, the sole Belgian, starts from fifth on the inside of row number 3, alongside Nick Gerhards in the number 60. Tern Schmidt in the 166 and Lake Ron Sorenson from Denmark in the 132 round out the 8 strong. Again, it will be a 13-minute race plus 1 additional lap. So this time there will be another chance for these drivers to have a bit more of a squabble, let's say. A little bit of close quarter combat here at Karting Genk. So it'll be down to Tim Gerhards and Enzo Bol to dictate the pace for the formation lap. As they now make their way down the short blast towards turn number 10. And then to the left-hander at turn number 11 before going round towards the final corner here at Karting Genk. 1,360 metres here at the Home of Champions. So all 8 drivers line astern in 2x2 formation, ready to get their final race of the day underway here on Saturday afternoon. We go into the tram lines. Do we get lights out? Yes, we do. And off into turn 1 they go. And it looks like Enzo Bol got the greatest of hole shots there. And up the inside, trying to force his way through, is Tim Gerhards, who retakes the lead. But Enzo Bol tries to retaliate. Jaden Thien's trying to go up the inside of the 155. And we've only gone through the first 5 corners, and everyone's at each other, at each other's throats, which is... It's bad enough when you see the Senior Max do it, but then when you see youngsters like this having absolutely no fear whatsoever, it's a sign of things to come. But I must be... Oh, there's been a bit of a spin. Someone's 180 degrees the wrong way. That could be, I think, looks to be Nick Gerhards, I believe. So he was running up as high as 4th or 5th position. So, Tim Gerhards leads, Enzo Bol in 2nd, Jaden Thien in 3rd, Jens van der Eyden. Then it's the 132 of Lake Ron Sorenson. And just behind them looks to be Tern Schmidt and also Jasper Leenerts, who's just slingshotted past. And I thought it might have been the case that was Nick Gerhards, who is now pretty much on the back foot. As Jasper Leenerts trying to close up onto Tern Schmidt for that 6th place. As Jaden Thien really putting the feelers out now on Enzo Bol for 2nd position. But again, Tim Gerhards now starting to pull away. He's been, when we came to Genk, he did an absolute perfect score. He's won the first the first race earlier on today and took pole position. That put him on pole position. So this will put him, if things are as they are now, this puts him on 240 points before any drop scores are taken into consideration. The best, you can actually drop 2 scores, but it does not include any exclusions out of the 12 races that happen throughout the course of the weekend. Now Enzo Bol has just said to Jaden Thien, let's chase after this guy, shall we? Thien's had other ideas and he's just slingshotted past Bol like it was absolutely nothing. Now Thien's got to really try and close down. Now, he didn't really have an answer for Tim Gerhards on the previous race. Now he's got 10 minutes, 33 seconds, plus 1 additional lap. Still to go, as we're definitely having a really good battle a little bit further down the order, as Jasper Leynertz looks to have got past Turnschmidt for position. Yeah, Leynertz looks a little bit sideways coming through into the apex part of turn number 8, but managed to keep it under control. So Gerhards, Thien, Bol, Van der Eyden, then it's Ron Sorensen, Leynertz, Turnschmidt. Looks like now the thing is that for those that are probably watching the live timing, like Ron Sorensen for some reason has come up twice, but Ron Sorensen is running in 5th position, as Nick Gerhards will just seeing where Nick Gerhards is at the moment. It looks like he has crossed the start-finish line, so he is still circulating. He is about just under 2 seconds off of Turnschmidt. So Nick Gerhards trying to close up on what is effectively 7th position, as Jaden Thien and Enzo Bol continue their intercart war, so to speak. But Thien trying to get away from the 155. But Tim Gerhards is leading. His gap between himself and Jaden Thien last time around was 9/10 of a second. Now, if Thien has gone in front of Bol and started to charge, he's got to try and do that now. He's got to try and build to that crescendo of when he can definitely say, right, I can get Tim Gerhards. I've beaten him before. Remember the first day of action at Marienborg in early July? Thien was unstoppable. Gerhards had no answer. Now the boot's back on the other foot for the 107. And you've got to really think about what a driver might be calculating in their mind, because Jaden Thien is doing one of two things. He's going to either go and try and chase after Tim Gerhards. He's only taken less than 1/10 of a second out of him on that last lap alone. But then I've had a look at Enzo Bol's times in comparison. He's running on a 1:02. Jaden Thien a 1:118 and is the quickest out of the top 4. Jens van der Eyden is actually the slowest of the top 4. But it is looking rather apparent that Enzo Bol has got a better run on this particular lap. So your guess is as good as mine what could happen in the next 8 minutes. Because Enzo Bol just needs to keep in the slipstream and just keep biding his time and then decide when he's going to go up the inside of Jaden Thien to take the position. But it wasn't on that lap. Could it be the next one? It's wait and see. Lakeron Sorensen looks to have lost out, I believe, to Jasper Leynertz. So Leynertz must have had a really good turn of pace coming out of the final corner and went up the inside of the Danish driver. So at the moment, Tim Gerhards leads by about 8.5 of a second ahead of Jaden Thien, but it looks to be less than that now. Jaden Thien is effectively bringing along with him Enzo Bol in the 155. Then we got Jens van der Eyden. Then that is Jasper Leynertz, and who is just ahead of Lakeron Sorensen. Turnschmidt rounds out the top 7, and Nick Gerhards is only just under 1.9 seconds behind Turnschmidt, but let's see if he's closed the gap as Turnschmidt tries to go up the inside of Lakeron Sorensen through into turn 2 and makes, oh no! How Lakeron Sorensen held that round the outside of turn 2 on Turnschmidt, I never will know, but that was full commitment from the Dane. And so Nick Gerhards isn't really closing down on Turnschmidt for 7th position. But in the meantime, Turnschmidt is trying to get past Lakeron Sorensen, trying to go through into turn 7. Can't get past the Danish driver quite yet, as Jaden Thien has got Enzo Bol for close quarter company. As we've got 6 minutes and 12 left to go, plus an additional lap on the clock. So Jaden Thien trying to close down on Tim Gerhards, but Enzo Bol is saying otherwise. You just tell by the driving style that Thien is just punching that hole through the air, and that's allowing Enzo Bol to close up in the braking zone, but also he doesn't have to use as much throttle as Jaden Thien, because Thien is pushing that sort of vortex behind him, punching that hole through the dirty air, and Bol's got the advantage. Let's just see what happens down towards turn number 7. Well, Bol's got a better run out of it because Thiene's punching through the air. And they go through turn 7. They're a little bit further behind Tim Gerhardt, who is now 1.1 seconds up the road from Jaden Thiene, he's now realised, oh, Enzo Bol's coming at me, isn't he? Bol's trying to go around to the outside. Is he going to try for the switch back into turn number 10? No. Thiene neatly hits the apex, brakes when he needs to, powers out when he needs to, and he's not allowing Enzo Bol to do so to try and get past. Jens van der Eyden, in the meantime, I'm just keeping an eye on what's happening between him and Jasper Leenerts, and Leenerts is closing. Leenerts was 1.7 seconds last time around. That gap has been truncated by the 177 from Belgium. And the gap now, that was over half a second. As Enzo Bol really pushing the issue now with Jaden Thiene for second position. So Thiene now realises time's fast ticking away. I've got to really go for it now. But then Enzo Bol is saying, well, sorry, Sunshine, you need to get out of my way. I'm going to be coming through whether you like it or not. As a little bit further down the order, well, Lasper Leenerts is trying to close down on Jens van der Eyden. It was exactly 1.2 seconds between the pair, as this battle for second is just really, really being... Oh, that was that was an uncharacteristic mistake there from Enzo Bol. Clipped a bit too much of the curb with the right front wheel, and that nearly could have sent the kart spinning outwards, but he kept it going. That's a real good sign of kart control from the 155. He's now got to refocus, reassert himself. So Jens van der Eyden, Jasper Leenerts, the gap now is 0.84. So Leenerts now on a flyer, and in terms of the lap times, again, he was over 3/10 quicker than Jens van der Eyden. And that's pretty astonishing there. Nice work by Nick Gerhardt. He's got past Luckert on Sorensen, and I think he's also got past Tern Schmidt. And if that is the case, he's now up into 6th position. After that spin a bit earlier on at turn number 8, Nick Gerhardt has come back flying to do his best with regards to damage limitation. But Jaden Thiene quickly looks over the right shoulder to see where Enzo Bol is, so he knows where he can place that kart. But the key issue here is that Thiene is now having to concentrate. He wants to consolidate a second place finish. He knows now that with time fast ticking away, 3 minutes plus an additional lap left to go, he's now having to say to himself, I could go for first, but I might have to settle for second, but I'm having to fight for it every single step of the way. But Jasper Leenerts, oh, he's getting very close to Jens van der Eyden. So the Dutch driver under threat for having 4th position taken away by the sole Belgian on this grid. And last time around, Leenerts went sub 60. He did a 59.937. Van der Eyden did a 1 minute 0.5. And that is an incredible amount of pace from the 177. As Enzo Bol hasn't quite got an answer for Jaden Thiene thus far, but Leenerts is hunting down Van der Eyden like it was going out of fashion. They're coming through into turn number 10 and then into the left-hander at turn number 11. Great run coming out of that corner from Jasper Leenerts as Jaden Thiene getting his head down, not allowing Enzo Bol to try and get past as Leenerts in the toe of Van der Eyden. He's got the run on him and he gives him a... That's the thing with regards to turns 1 and 2. If you get a really good run on your opponent, you're going to do one or two things. You're either going to slingshot past, or you're going to inadvertently just slightly tap the back bumper of the cart in front. So Leenerts has really got to time it to perfection, I think, on the next lap round. As Thiene getting very, very heavily pressurised by Enzo Bol going through turn number 7. Now into turn 8. So there's two great battles. We've got Thiene versus Bol, Van der Eyden versus Leenerts. So that's for 2nd and 4th respectively. As Thiene just holding on by a shoestring, but it's not enough. Enzo Bol just slingshot past. So Thiene might have gone uncharacteristically a little bit wide there, and it opened the door for Enzo Bol, who just went charging through and made it through into 2nd position. And behind, Van der Eyden has got to hold on for at least, I think, probably a couple of laps now. This will be the penultimate lap of the race with the pace that these guys are showing. Gerhardt's last time around did a 59.976. Enzo Bol a 1 minute 3. Thiene 1 minute 7. Van der Eyden 1 minute 5. Leenertz a 1 minute high 1 minute 5. So now that they're starting to battle, the times are dropping off. And Enzo Bol has got daylight between himself and Jaden Thien. Tim Gerhardt, in the meantime, has just checked out. The gap was 2.663 seconds last time around when they completed lap number 12. So just keeping an eye on Leenertz in the minute, and he's all over the back bumper of Van der Eyden. The battle for 4th position not quite over yet, as the leader now comes around the final corner. And the clock, I think, is now expired. That's it. 13 minutes are up. Final lap board for Tim Gerhardt. Enzo Bol in 2nd. Jaden Thien in 3rd. Van der Eyden in 4th. Leenertz in 5th place. Then it is Nick Gerhardt, Turnschmidt and Lukke Ron Sorensen. As Leenertz looking really racy on the back bumper now for 4th place. Trying to get past Van der Eyden, hasn't had an answer for the 151 quite yet, as the leader now comes through turn 7 for the final time. And Leenertz is trying to go past, he's going to try and slingshot past, this could be very close indeed. No, Van der Eyden shuts the door firmly in the direction of Leenertz into turn number 7. That was very close, Leenertz could have had that. But Van der Eyden was quite wise to it. But this time around, it's going to be another lights out to checkered flag victory, as Tim Gerhardt again puts himself on the top step of the times and also takes the victory. And the gap between himself and Enzo Bol, nearly 3.1 seconds. Jaden Thien in 3rd place, and Jens van der Eyden nips 4th by just 83 thousandths of a second ahead of Jasper Leenertz. They had a really great battle through the latter third of this race. Nick Gerhardt would finish in 6th, ahead of Turnschmidt, with Lukke Ron Sorensen rounding out the top 8. But Tim Gerhardt has probably got a Cheshire cat smile from ear to ear behind that race helmet as he takes another victory here at Karting Genk. And what a way to sign off on the penultimate day of the season with 2 victories in your pocket and also pole position. Enzo Bol in 2nd, Jaden Thien in 3rd. Jens van der Eyden, Jasper Leenertz, Nick Gerhardt recovers from that spin in the first part of the race to finish 6th, ahead of Turnschmidt and Lukke Ron Sorensen from Denmark.